Hi everybody, I promised you a second scoliosis video, so here it is. This one's quite a bit simpler. It's just some things that you can do around the house really, just to keep our length and to keep breathing and to keep thinking about using our core to support. So I thought we would do the first one sitting on a chair, and you can do it on a couch or a stool, an ottoman, but I find the chair nice and solid. So we're going to start with the idea that, if you know how to prop your hip, you can take a towel or something and prop a hip. Make sure that things are feel nice and even through your hips there. And we're just going to start with breathing. Okay, so you're going to interlace your fingers, reach up towards the ceiling, and try to breathe. Now, what we don't want to do is go pull ourselves into extension as we start to lengthen. You want to feel like you're pulling up through the back and the fronts of your body. You're going to let your ears come up to your shoulders come up to your ears. And we're just going to breathe and gently draw your core muscles in there. And just keep elongating, inhaling, and exhaling. So we want to get used to the practice of breathing into and expanding where we know we need to in our tight space. But as we exhale, we want to notice that our exhale connects us sometimes to things that pull us down and contract us. So when you feel that tightness starting to shorten you, you want to stop with that contraction in that area and see if you can draw the contraction to a different area of your body. So I'm inhaling, trying to breathe three-dimensionally through my rib cage, and as I exhale, I want to keep blowing out. And drawing in as I do that. Inhale, breathing nice and deeply, and then we've got these staccato breaths. And again, you're going to feel that tightness come around your shoulder area faster. So you want to try to keep that area long as you exhale and try to shorten up another side of your body where you might need to. Again, so inhaling, breathing three-dimensionally, nice and wide there, and exhaling. So we're trying to keep as much length in our body and watch that it doesn't pull us down as we exhale. Inhale, again, breathing nice and big, and exhaling. And I'm pulling up as I'm pressing down into my tail, lengthening out. And again, I'm not trying to arch my back. I'm really trying to elongate through my spine there. We'll just try one more. Inhale, big breath, and exhale. And if you'd like to wriggle and lengthen out there and slightly twist, that's good too. And then we'll bring our arms down. We're going to try the same thing just with our hands around our rib cage. So you can put your hands flat, or you can wrap the thumb around there. And again, we're just going to breathe nice and tall. And exhaling. All the air out, all the air, all the air, all the air. Blowing it all the way out. And again, you want to notice those times when it starts to pull you down. You want to get those muscles to stop shortening and other muscles to continue to shorten as you do that, right? Inhale. And then blowing out. You're really, really empty. And again, breathing. And you can put your hands where you need to if you want to. And again, trying to keep the length in our spine. As we feel that contraction, we want to be able to stop the contraction from pulling us down and continue the contraction of supporting where we need to. And we're going to try that again, breathing nice and big and wide, and exhaling. Try one more. Inhaling again. You can put your hands where you need to, front or back. Usually there's this kind of diagonal thing where you need to breathe into the front and backs in a kind of a cross-lateral kind of way, right? So you're going to feel that connection, right? So if this was your concavity, you want to be breathing here. But you also want to be breathing through the opposite side as well, right? So it encourages that rotation or derotation of the spine as you do that. Again, you can practice each of these as many times as you like, right? Just trying to lengthen it. We're trying to think of ourselves as a tube, not just our spine, right? But a tube, right, of muscles wrapping around us. Now the next one you don't need the hip cushion for, because we're going to use our hands, and this is really It really depends on whether your hands can manage this, but it's good kind of shoulder arm strengthening exercise. This can be done with a pillow between your knees, squeezing, but because I have one of these balls, I'm going to put that there. You don't want it to be too wide, so take some air out of it if it's too wide. You want to get it just enough of a grip to feel that you're connecting through those lower core muscles, right? If you don't have something, that's fine. You just try to keep your legs together if you can, but this gives you a little bit of a squeeze. Now we're going to take our hands to the edge of the chair here. Take a nice deep breath in, and you can use your fists if you like. And we're going to push up nice and tall so we get nice and long. Ooh, that really lengthens me out. Right? And we're going to squeeze the ball there. And I'm trying to press into my hands enough to almost float my hips off the chair. Breathing in and blowing out, and just trying to lengthen out there as I breathe in. This really encourages strength and breadth in the rib cage and the shoulders. Inhaling and exhaling, and I'll let go of that. Now you can try that version again, but I'm going to show you another version, and again you can do these as many times as your arms can manage. But this version, I'm going to swing my bum off of here, so it really is only my arms supporting me, and I'm squeezing the ball or the cushion between the knees, and I'm inhaling and exhaling. Now, if you did it on a couch, your hands could be, say, a little bit wider, which actually might feel a bit more comfortable. But because I'm on a chair here, they're kind of right underneath me, almost squishing my rib cage. So I'm going to open my elbows a little bit. Breathing and lengthening. The other nice thing about this position is I can drop my lower back and I can drop my tail down to the ground a little bit. I can kind of release that. So if you want to play around with your lower back and get it to release here, you can do that. And then you swing your bum back onto the chair when you're ready, right? So a little bit wristy, right? So check that out. Make sure your wrists are okay. And you can try that again as many times as you need. So welcome to my kitchen. Do you know this videotaping at home certainly makes me clean up a lot. I have a nice clean kitchen. Had to do all my dishes and everything this morning. Okay, so here's something else that I find quite useful, and you probably already do this one because it just feels so good. You can take the edge of the sink or the countertop if that's a good height for you, right? You're going to kind of gently lean into this. We just want to make sure that we have enough space wide, nice big stretch here. So my hands or fingertips are on the edge there, my tail's reaching back, knees are soft. My arms can be nice and wide here, right? You can do this on, with your hands together as well, or you can do them nice and wide here, but we're just kind of leaning back into that. The edge of the sink is nice, right? Because you can kind of really hold on to it. I don't have enough space on my side because my bum touches the fridge there. But we're just going to hang into that position and elongate. Again, we want to watch that we're not going into kind of a spinal extension, right? That we're keeping that feeling of length. So I keep that feeling of scooping and lifting through my tummy as a way of supporting my back. And that's just stretching out there. You can go into that offset stance with 1 foot forward, 1 foot back here. Right? You can play with your hips a little bit by just gently twisting them. Keeping the length. Depending on what your counter feels like, you can just grab onto it or not. Really great place to open up the back and lengthen things out there. Okay, so next we're going to lie down. So again, you want to make sure you're propped if you know how to prop yourself, right? Place a towel under your ribs or under your hips where you need that. And you'll kind of notice in the exercise if you've got that right, because if your pelvis isn't properly propped, you're going to feel it really shift a lot in one of the exercises that we do here. So we're going to start with our feet long and open in a little V, and heels are raised, hands over the head here, actually hands behind the head here. And we're just going to think about reaching your heels and pulling the back of your head basically away from your heels. We want to watch that our back doesn't arch, that my head is slightly lifted off the floor, so I'm getting that feeling of a bit of compression through the front as I reach nice and long through my heels. And you can reach a little longer with one leg than the other if you like. And I'm trying to expand through my rib cage. So this position with the hands encourages that inflation of the rib cage, and particularly on the side that we're tight or short, right? we're just reaching through those heels as much as you can, and then really engaging through my core here to watch that my back isn't arching, right? Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling there. And then we're going to release. So now we're going to bring our legs together. I'm going to bend one knee. I'm going to nod the chin again, take a breath in, and as I lift my head, I'm going to lift that one long leg off the floor and hold it there. And challenge myself. If I'm feeling myself really tipping and say this is my concave side, then that's where the prop will really help, right? Support that leg, inhaling and exhaling. Now if you want to take the leg up a little higher, if that's easier for you, fine, right? Or we're just holding and using that to create that rotational torque that we want to strengthen our torso with, inhaling and exhaling there, and then placing that down and shaking it out. And then we'll do that on the other side as well. So nice deep breath, inhale and exhale. Lift it up, inhaling and exhaling. So find the height that you can manage to maintain it. Here we're also looking at our hips and our torso, so we can see if we're hiking or twisting too much on one side. I'm really trying to anchor that opposite side down, this side, holding, holding, holding. Nice deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. So you can try this. Another version of this would just be to have both straight legs. So if I went back to the first side, it would look like this. Lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower. Now every time I lift my right leg, I feel my body want to twist more. So I really have to anchor that movement, and I almost have to exaggerate, tilting to one side and lower, and lift and lower, and lift and lower. And then stretch out your arms here, because you will have worked your upper core there quite significantly. So we want to stretch that out. Arms can be out to the side. Nice little stretch here is just to take the knees from side to side. You get the tummy stretch and the hip stretch as you do that. Okay, while you're lying on the ground, if you have an elastic or a belt, you can do your hamstring stretch. So again, leg nice and long. We know we want to continue to always stretch your hamstrings. So a nice neutral spine here. Bending and releasing. Now we really want to feel the hamstrings getting the stretch here. So if you're feeling it more behind the knee, it's better for you to soften that knee, right? And try to find the stretch in the back of the leg than to have the leg really straight and to feel only the back of the knee, right? So we're just holding that. You can have the bottom leg straight or bent, whichever you like. Bending and straightening just to give it a little release. Inhaling and exhaling. Try to do these all the time, and you can try rocking your pelvis there as well. You get different aspects of that. Make sure the leg is no higher than you can maintain a good neutral position. If you're starting to feel congested through anywhere of your body, you want to make sure that it's not being caused by too much pull on the back of the hamstring here. Right? Propping the head can help. So if you want to put a cushion or pillow under your head, that can help as well. And then leg from side to side is a good one too. So just pulling it across there, getting able to spine, just feel that length there. Good. And then trying to stabilize the torso by making circles with the leg. Another good exercise for us. Now I'm going to hold that elastic in a way that's going to support my upper body frame. Now if my concavity is on my left, then pulling back with the right is going to cause that rotation that we want to have on the right side. So that could be a good way of using the elastic, whichever leg you're doing, right? So let's go try a little hamstring stretch on the other side. Again, while you're stretching, your elbows can be relaxed. Able to spine there, bend and stretch a few times. Breathing that out. Nice deep breaths. And then into leg circles. So you're welcome to pause these videos and hang out here as long as you want. Do as many reps as you want of each of these. Again, this one should be challenging your core, not to move your pelvis, not to rock and roll. Again, all of these just little fast twitch things are good for your muscle memory. They're not huge, aggressive exercises, but they're still good for training your torso to deal with pressure and resistance from these big, heavy legs, right? Let's see. And stretch. And across and across. Can't remember if we did something else on the other side. Okay, so next we're going to get onto all fours. So onto your hands and knees here. And here again, if you'd like to, say, prop yourself into rotation, if this was my concave side, I might want to prop this up so I'm really breathing into it, causing a little bit of a rotation, and then softening my opposite elbow so I'm bringing that opposite rib down towards the floor here, right? And I'm just pulling, tucking my shirt so we can see that I'm scooping up my tummy, my spine is nice and long here. I'm trying to not let myself arch too much, but at the same time, I'm not trying to round my back either. So we've got to watch as we use our arms that we don't go into that position either. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to take one leg out to the top of the mat. Now, this can be quite challenging on one side, right? Just holding and reaching. Let's just start by reaching through that back heel. Watch, I'm not sinking into my opposite side. So if I was doing it on this side, I'm not caving in on this side, right? Make sure it's nice and long here. I'll go back to this side again. Right, and then taking a nice deep breath in, we're going to just try to lift and lower the leg. Without moving my torso, right? So we don't want the spine to be prop my hand there as I need to, and then we'll do the other side this time. We're going to take that leg nice and long, nice deep breath in, and exhale as I lift. Now, if I feel myself kind of caving in here, feel free to add a little bit of a rotation to that as you lift and lower. You want to keep bringing your prominent side forward down towards the ground. You want to keep pushing your concavity back and opening that up as we lift and lower the legs there. Inhaling and exhaling. And then coming off of that, you can sit back and stretch your arms out. Let me go back and do that on the other side again. So nice and long here again. I'm suggesting that this is my concave side, so I'm opening that up. I'm creating a little bit of rotation, so I almost feel like I'm hiking this hip up a little bit higher, lifting and lowering, bringing the ribs forward on my prominent side, keep pressing into my hands, inhaling and exhaling there. Nice and long, reaching through the crown of the head. And then back to the second side again. Inhale, exhale. Nice deep breaths. And then bring that in. Good. Okay, so that's all for today. Don't forget to add in all the exercises we already done, clamshells, all that sideline stuff as well. And hope you're staying well and healthy. See you soon, hopefully.